My friends and oh my foes, welcome to the big Sleepover Moviecast. Tonight's film, from 1993, an adventure comedy film and a parody of the Robin Hood story, particularly Prince of Thieves, see previous episode, and the 1938 Errol Flynn adaptation, The Adventures of Robin Hood. It's Robin Hood Men in Tights, yes! A true legend of a sleepover classic. It is a fantastic film. I have seen it many, many times and have not seen it recently. I've not seen it on Blu-ray, and I've bought the Blu-ray now to catch up. A success at the time, budget of $20 million, box office 72. A long line of hits for Mel Brooks. Screenplay also by Mel Brooks and J. David Shapiro, the writer of the L. Ron Hubbard novel Battlefield Earth, the screenplay version of his novel Battlefield Earth. So yeah, there are some Scientology undertones. We'll be looking out for that. But this movie is one I wanted to watch, first conceiving of this movie cast. And then recently we heard about the untimely passing of the legend Richard Lewis. And I had this sitting there. I was like, okay, we need to jump this right ahead. Richard Lewis, American comedic icon, self-deprecating, dark, neurotic humor, and Larry David's best friend, apparently. I remember him being fantastic in this film, and no matter what, we are going to speak highly of him throughout. Cary Elwes, super handsome man, coming off of Princess Bride, equally as handsome here. He's so handsome he makes all the lady leads in this film look like dogs, and that, no offense, but that is just the case. So who else are we seeing? Roger Rees as Sheriff of Rottingham. Ha ha ha. Amy Yasbeck as Maid Marian. Now, of course, Amy, you probably know her best from Wings or the television film Splash 2, apparently. Now, Dave Chappelle is in this film, and is hilarious in his role of Echu, and drops some real memorable lines. In fact, the lines I remember the most. Blinken is quite hilarious in this, played by Mark Blankfield. Isaac Hayes, Tracy Ullman, Patrick Stewart, Dom DeLuise, Mel Brooks himself, and then just a whole host of other people, including Gene Wilder as a party guest, uncredited. So keep an eye out for your favorite faces, your favorite cameos. Mel Brooks, of course, at this point was, a legend 30 times over. And I remember this being one of my favorites of his, probably because it was the Robin Hood story. Now, there's music in this. We all know that he likes to write comedic musicals and is quite good at it. But overall, this, from entertaining as a child, this was an absolute classic and was rented many times from Blockbuster. So enough about this and that. If you don't have the Blu-ray, go buy it. There might be a 4K. There will probably be a 4K box set of Mel Brooks at some point, hopefully before he passes. Mel Brooks is getting up there. He's 97 years young, and we wish him the best of health and another 97 years to go. Movie is pulled up, scrubbed all the way back. Let's start the countdown. Oakley dokley do. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Now, 20th Century Fox and the military drum roll should be playing now in your ears, along with me, yakking. Now, although I'm familiar with this one, so I should be able to talk more and react, it's been a long time, so I'm kind of just going to want to watch it a little bit, so you'll have to deal with that. Although I know the beats, and we recently did Prince of Thieves, and that's the main, I think, definitely the main plot he pulled off of. I definitely saw this before seeing Prince of Thieves, because as a kid, this was allowable. My parents let us see Mel Brooks's humor. And for that, I am thankful, because he really is a genius. Dave. Oh, Dave Chappelle. Isaac Hayes, you Scientologist fuck. Latrine. Tracy Ullman is also in the last series of the Larry David Show, Curb Your Enthusiasm. And of course, there was an episode with Richard in it. And, you know, he didn't look well, but God bless that man. Long title entrance here. We're seeing all these names. Good fourth wall break immediately. Here we go. I said, hey. Oh, who could forget? Nice forced exposition here. Hey. Look at him vibe down there. Nice. Now, do the rapping chorus, do they come back? What a good looking man. Sam Raimi. Same idea, but with skeletons. Jesus. Mel. I was gonna say we need that beard. About as good as the one that they put on Costner. Mm-mm-mm-mm. See, good accent. Already he's better than Kevin Costner. Mm. Very short torture scene, honestly. Well, that was fairly easy. Yeah, I don't remember from Prince of Thieves, but I don't think they cared about who his king was. They were just fucking slaughtering them. Classic Mel Brooks humor here. Mm. Let's not be so sure. Much more direct exit than in Prince of Thieves, where they have to go in the nasty sewer. There he counted this time. Two countdowns. I mean, if I was looking at the script, I would make that note. Let's have another countdown. Ha. This makes more sense than the life debt. He just swims it. I mean, they didn't really explain how Costner got back either. Yeah, assuming it was this easy. And that would be like a year-long trip, probably. Now, that part is correct. Costner does seem to eat the sand just like that. Looks good, doesn't he? Now, Dave Chappelle was kind of a hip young comic here. 1993. Had not blown up with Half Baked and nice dick punch there, and another dick punch. This little Hollywood backlot. First arrow shot. First arrow shot by Costner was, of course, a crossbow. Different arrow packages. I remember that. Now, this is my favorite scene. Or at least one of them because of Blinken. And this line, was recited so many times. Brilliant moment in writing that I'm going to credit fully to Mel Brooks here. Now, also, if he was blind, and obsessed with boobs, he would be feeling up that statue. He would know the statue, but... Well, blind to begin with is less tragic than being blinded after having your master murdered. God. It's still funny to this day. What an excellent delivery. His astonished yell. Choked on the goldfish. Oh, classic. Mel Brooks special. And Mel Brooks kind of is an evolution from the Marx Brothers. In sheer jokes per second, but also absurdity, also these kinds of shtick Jewish humor. Now it was open there, but they didn't show you what was inside. Blinking again, stealing the... Ooh. Now this, of course, an homage to Monty Python. Also a Monty Python. Another handsome man, though. Full of malaprops. Or dysgraphia, or whatever that is. Oops. Now, there's nothing more noble than skipping the Vietnam War by any means necessary. God, they humiliate him at every step. Here comes the iconic Dave Chappelle line that if you've never seen this film and you're watching it for the first time with me, well, that's weird, but pissed on. Ha ha ha. Fantastic. I'm sure it's in the script, but Jesus. Not a bad intro. And we still need to see our boy Prince John. This kid did a great job. Look how young Dave Chappelle is. Now, you've heard from Dave Chappelle. He's a prolific storyteller as well as an entertainer and, writer and everything else he's done. But he'll tell you these stories. And I'm trying to remember now if he had stories about this, but he's clearly insanely young at this age. And this was in his, well done, I'm smoking a shit ton of weed era. But he was obviously hanging out with Neil at this time. Not sure what's happened with their relationship, but... So now we get into the chastity belt, which is not something I understood until I saw this movie. And in fact, the entirety of the word chastity belt and the visual of it, my association in life is forever with this film. Some big hair. Now, as a kid, I remember eagerly trying to see her titties through that hair. But obviously, it is covered up. Eh. Can you see it? No, she's wearing a bra. Now, is that her singing? I know it's a voiceover for the shot, but I don't know. I'm going to bet it's not her. Yeah, guarantee it's not. Now, again, she's a beautiful woman. But back to my statement, Carrie Elways is just so absolutely gorgeous. She does a great job. Yep, so they're looking at those titty balls, trying to see through it, and there is, wow, this is nice in HD, but that chastity belt. Now, meow, she has a fantastic rack here, but again, I can't see any nipples. I believe they are covered well with makeup. Little Disney-esque thing here. Now, I don't know the history of chastity belts. Sorry, there's my Invisalign lisp. Chastity. Clunk. But I imagine... I forgot about that part. I imagine they're a real thing. Probably employed in a similar fashion. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Rest in power, King. Very well done, these two. What a magnificent chin Richard Lewis has, doesn't he? Now, Richard Lewis knew and collaborated with Dave Chappelle. Now, I don't think he's a particularly good actor per se, but he is funny as all hell. This guy is doing a great job, though. Now, of course, a better Prince John is going to be in the animated movie. So stay tuned as we do that one too. Peter Ustinov. See previous episode. We're No Angels. Fantastic actor and voice actor, and really captures Little John well in that Robin Hood film. Well, as we know, Latrine is his mother. $30 years ago, and then 30 years later, they're still acting together. It's amazing. Now, Tracy Ullman is more famous for being the platform in which The Simpsons started, probably, than her own right. Was in some great films. One of my favorites, I Love You to Death. And her and Klein in that film are just fantastic. And I love that film. Internet favorite Keanu Reeves is in that as a bumbling idiot and does a really fantastic job with Hurt. Great joke. Classic. A little Larry David-esque behavior there. I always like the kind of chillness behind Lewis, and you know how he was upset and challenged in this film, but exasperated and but also calm. Back in 1993, you didn't have to whiten your teeth. Coffee drinker and smoker, Richard Lewis. Nice cutout. Yep. I mean, that's an option. The troll toll to get to this boy's hole, motherfucker. Mm. So Richard Lewis got sober 1 year after this film. Ended up in the ER for a cocaine overdose. He's also been a user of crystal meth. Mm. Nice Israel commentary snuck in there. Apparently, John Candy's death caused him to reflect on his life and career. Wagons East. Stay tuned as we watch that one. Pencil Break, a pastime game that you kids probably don't play anymore because you don't need pencils. But it was fun to play. Get really good at flicking. Yep, kind of like that. Except you don't hit people's hands. You try to break the pencil, the stick. Now this is well done because in Prince of Thieves he does freak out in 2 feet of water. There he is. Less important in this film, if I recall correctly. No, Will Scarlet, I believe, is the cousin of Robin Hood. And this is a very slow point in this film. Overall, no big music numbers, no super hilarious jokes. Nice superhuman powers given to him for no reason. There we go. Always got to humiliate yourself, you know. That's the Mel Brooks standard. Let's talk a little bit about the transfer. Kind of looks like shit. It's obviously not like an original rescan. I would love to see this done on a 4K and in Dolby Vision. Not that it needs it, but this kind of looks like an upscale of a DVD. And also, here's my question. These modern TVs that everything is now clipped for, were films really 16 by 9? Or were they more like a little bit wider? And are we getting clipped out of like, you know, an inch or two on either side of what it should be? I know you can buy an ultra wide. I know you can get a projector. But if you can't, if you can't get the, stay tuned for that film. I love that film. Yeah, if you can't get the original source at the width, then, you know, what are you going to do? The close-ups are always better on the Blu-rays that look like this. The wide shots, the bit rate, I guess, is just not what it needs to be. Don't be afraid of grain, okay, in your digital transfer. You don't need to denoise either. Now, Robert Rees here is the real Shakespearean actor. Now, this is an homage to the 1938 version. The real swashbuckling Robin Hood. Nice cutout for their tits. Yeah. Fantastically done. Now that kind of, again, mannerism and whatnot is directly from the cartoon. Mm. Yeah, Carrie. Carrie, of course, now known for his roles, his turn in the Saw movies. So make of that what you will. I forgot about that scene. I remember the calm, cool collectedness of Carrie Elwes here with his beautiful eyes and yeah, and that smile on his face as he's sword fighting. That is definitely him channeling Errol Flynn. The stories of Errol Flynn are amazing and wild. From his time with David Niven to his rampant pansexuality and he really was a swashbuckler from Tasmania. Oh God, a crazy blind man. Have we seen Gene Wilder yet? I probably missed him, but so you get kind of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing going on here too. With a bow staff, the daggers are the size. A tireless fighter, though, isn't he? Almost put her eye out with his fucking arrow quiver. Now she's one of these people whose eyes are tremendously far apart. Again, not saying she's ugly, but it's just we've seen a few actresses recently. Not a lot of gory death in the Mel Brooks version, is there? Jesus. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but nobody knows who you are. Looks like Carlin back there. In fact, I'm pretty sure Looks like there's some discussion about this, but pretty sure that was him. Oh. I'm just on board to help out, sure. $20 million for this? I guess all the sets and paying all these kind of mid-level people. Mm. Churchill, the bulldog. Oh. So X, when did X come out? Yeah, year before. Okay, thought so. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for all 90s movies starring with Denzel. Nominated for Academy Award for that one. Now our serious biopics. A good sleepover movie? Maybe. Thus the Men in Tights joke. Wow, he actually shot that. Now, some of LA's churlishness, who else can we attribute that to? Again, I see a lot of Bruce Campbell in there. But Jim Carrey, who he acted opposite against in one of my favorites, Liar Liar. There's a little bit of Jim Carrey in there too, and Jim Carrey was obviously big at this time on In Living Color. Love a good training scene though, you know? No Mary Sue's here. They're working for it. Uh, Farting in the bathtub. So here's a good thing to bring up. I'm pretty sure I should have just asked this friend next time I talk to him, but if you fart in the bathtub and bite the bubble, you're called a Quimby. True or false? True or false? The migrating mole. Okay, so is that George Carlin back there? I don't know. I don't think so. But it looks a lot like him. Now this actor is a homosexual who married his partner when gay marriage became legal in New York. It was a very interesting acting career too. You know, Broadway trained. Uh, There you go. God, you know, he was 70 years old ish here, 60s. I mean, it's appropriate that he would change the monk Friar Tuck character to a rabbi. Oh, DeLuise. Doing The Godfather. I love it. Jersey. Uh, Sheriff of Rottingham's absolute disgust by that person is just fantastic. This guy. Louise. God. Giovanni. I feel like that was ad libbed. Oh, I've done it 100 times. Well, Jesus. Gotta love a clapper reference in the 90s. Jesus. Landing on that chastity belt would be extra painful. God. Mm-hmm. God. Shattered. Yep. Damn, she got up there quick. I really wish Blinken had a more expanded role. I honestly can't get enough of him. No, honestly, do we need this scene? It's ultimate tragedy. See? I mean, obviously they love Blinken too, but to write him in. Yeah. Here we go. Now, all good, variety shows had singing and performance. Marx Brothers, Monty Python, SNL in its heyday. I don't give a shit about modern SNL for the last 20 years, but damn, nice range on those actors. Well done, y'all. Especially Little John was kicking it high. Dave Chappelle kind of had the worst choreography. Yeah, he's kind of the worst. Little John's kind of the best. Well, Scarlett's doing good too. And then in the back are the actual choreographers. That's how it works. Yeah. Good into it. Pretty horse. Albino horse, maybe. Horses scare the shit out of me. I'm going to be honest. I don't like an animal that's bigger than me. You never know when it's going to go crazy, just totally go berserk. And what can you do about it? Nothing. Now, in Prince of Thieves, Lil Jon already has a beau, a mannish, strong woman who begets him a son after some difficulty in breech birth. I don't like this singer in this key, but maybe that's the joke. Tenor, or an Irish tenor singing like this, right? I mean, he should be singing up here. And if that's in... Now, my favorite romance of the trio we'll be covering here on this movie cast is the animated feature. Well, so in the animated feature, the music is done by Roger Miller, and that's, I think, the biggest reason it's a legendary thing to behold to this day. And Roger Miller sings a song called "The Moon is High and So Am I." Well done. They thought it was his actual dick. Yeah, just shut up and let her keep going. And he is really cute, if not gorgeous. Mm-mm-mm. A scroll? Uh, yeah, again, to keep it open to kids. It's an interesting point. Like, should a comedy have everything? Should a comedy have sex? Should it have violence? Should it have darkness? I don't know. Let's leave it up to the creator to kind of put it together. And this color here. Are y'all seeing this, or is it just my player? Just ugh. I need an HDR 4K of this, which I will buy out of nostalgia's sake. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Now, call back to the animated series. Not series, animated feature. Now our Clint Eastwood lookalike is in position. Nothing to say about this scene. This is the stereotypical, and this is also that disguise is from the animated feature, where they make him look like a hobo. Here he looks like Cyrano de Bergerac with Mark Twain combined, but I'm trying to remember if in the 38 version he dons any kind of costume. I think maybe barely, but this is very much a, homage to the Disney. And we will be watching that, as I've already said. I am excited to watch that. That is my favorite Disney movie. And Robin is one of my favorite just legends. There is something, sexy about an archer. The assassin, the sniper of the medieval fights. And I had such a knight obsession and sword and fucking sorcery obsession that I didn't even fully buy into, other than like things playing Final Fantasy was me and my brothers kind of into Dungeons and Dragons and other things. And I think he's expanded beyond that. But for me, it kind of stopped there. Then World of Warcraft was my last addiction in any kind of video game, at least for now. And absolutely the best, greatest thing that's ever happened. And I started a little later. I got in there towards the expansion era. I think we're right after the first expansion. I was late to the game, but I got sucked in hard and played hard for quite a while, and it was pretty good. And can you guess what I played? If you're not a WoW nerd, then I'll leave it to, yeah, there's the spit. Now that Robin's Arrow and Twain line. Now this, those costumes are from the Hen, and they all have a rule book. I mean, clearly just the script, though, not a rule book, but yeah. All right, forgot about this. And if you're a fan of modern football or baseball, you know about the chop now. God, I love Blinken. Sometimes one good character will catapult you. Dave Chappelle in that wig, though, is extremely unattractive woman. Maybe worse so than Blinken. This is Disney-esque. Special effect arrow. Oh, Lewis. Lewis was hoping for something different. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fine. Cool. God, to see queening it up. I love it. No. Mm. I remember the fox now. Fox. Haha. Um, you know, as a kid though, these down times didn't bother me, but honestly, the yucks per minute here are pretty slow. Compare this with the producers. Compare this with um, Blazing Saddle. It's a different movie, and it's again a favorite, and always will be. But uh, I do too. I mean, we all do for some weird reason. Now, Richard Lewis, though, with that jaw line, I know he's a short man, but short kings, but with that jawline, I mean, damn. Honestly, she could be marrying far worse than him. Like a well spoken, handsome gentleman. Mervyn. What of it? Wow. Shots at Mervyn's. Now, I wonder how many of these sets were reused. That's a question. Between Sam Raimi, this, Prince of Thieves, all the like first 3 years of 90s movies, what was saved? What was reused? Yeah, well done. Chappelle finally gets a hero moment. And was totally abandoned his uh, traditional clothing. Luckily, it's a slow staff battle. God, kill that fucker. My character pull out a gun and fire at his back after he hopped down. Uh, the choreography here. Now, this scene is more or less kind of accurate to how Prince of Thieves took this. And in Prince of Thieves, it was an attempted rape. There was no chastity belt. Now, again, this is all my memory of chastity belts. This is the first time I've heard it and the last time I've heard it. And still to this day is the most attention I've ever seen to a chastity belt. Um, Alan Rickman in Prince of Thieves. I mean, see, go listen to that episode and hear my commentary. I mean, I love Alan Rickman as well. R.I.P. Rest in Power King. And he was terrible, in that film ultimately, because the film is such a weird, odd mix of things. That film just kind of devolves by the end of it. Mm. That poon. I mean, no, it means your dad and Marion's parents had some weird fucking arranged marriage. Ooh. God, he's really selling it, and it's really good. Reese is a great actor. And that is about the gist of the end of Prince of Thieves. Honestly, he dies like a bitch in that too. So no blood at all. a, a mint lifesavers. A little more Disney magic. Literally. Oh my god. And they're cool with what just happened. Is he gonna now have penetrative sex because her chastity belt is removed? God. She charged up those steps though. Always with the circumcisions. You know, penal mutilation is not cool. And let's just put it that way. You know, I think modern times has re-examined that. Mm. Patrick motherfucking Stewart. God, listen to his voice. Now, was Richard a Scott? Oh, wow. Is there a London? I mean, I guess, but Damn. Not a bad happy ending. Rise, sir. Look at him reach for her hand. Who's that mugging in the background with that mustache? Get it, PS. Why the double check, I guess, with the king? I don't know. Unnecessary. And again, the happy ending is also age appropriate. This film, despite its rating, which is probably like PG-13. Oh. Yeah, PG-13. Despite that rating, a lot of 8 to 12-year-olds saw this too. There we go. Now, is this the end? I said, hey. I said, hey. Yeah, I would see a Robin Hood too. Look at him skirt, crab walk. Oh, what a handsome man. Is this the order of who got the most money? This low light bitrate is terrible. Give me a 4K of this fucker. Let's go. Mm-mm. Okay. Yeah, still a charming, entertaining romp. If you've never seen it before, it's a good parody of other Robin Hood films you may be watching. There are some unforgettable lines. Grew some nice boobs. Pissed off then pissed on. I could see. No, wait. I mean, mostly just Blinken is great. Yeah, after both Princess Bride and this, Carrie Elway's, my God, was premier sex symbol, and kind of dropped off maybe after that. That's an interesting thing to explore. Great sound, look at Skywalker sound. Look at Lucas get in that as I mentioned it. But great music, great just standard Mel Brooks production. Is it his best ever? I don't think it gets the props as Young Frankenstein or his 70s era contributions, 80s era too, but hell, I fucking love it. All right, y'all, take care. Bye.